Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Turn the Page.
You can do it. I believe in
Go into the kitchen.
The
Sassy
super sassy
Sasquatch.
Sasquatch believes in you, Scarlet. You can do it, Scarlet. It was sexy till that happened, right?
And welcome back to a special episode of Turn the Page. We are broadcasting in front of a live studio audience, if that's what you count my kids and my wife. That's the live studio audience applauding us right now. We are still quarantined, but we are still bringing you the entertainment because that's what we love to do. Don't forget, when you're watching these videos, go ahead and click like and subscribe. And while your grandma's in quarantine too for her own health and safety, go ahead and send her a link so that she can watch her favorite new show called Turn the Page too. While we're at it, we'll go ahead and talk about a few things today that are relevant to us from what we think the quarantine is going to affect the nerd community. And by nerds, I say that with love because I am one. And also how it's going to affect the movie release dates and just a little bit about what we've all been doing during this time hiding from COVID-19. First off, I am Tony Star Power Stevens, and I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to my buds, my co-hosts, the adorable sidekick, Ronnie Shanks, and sex appeal, John McClay.
Hello.
And of course, the peanut gallery, the unseen, the technical supervisor, Dan Stevens himself. All right, so first off, guys, I just want to go ahead and throw this out there. Normally this time of the year, you know, we're coming up on April, moving into May, June, July. Those are the hot spots for movies to be released.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Blockbusters, you know.
Yeah, a bunch of Marvel movies were pushed back, I heard.
Yeah, they were. Man, like it's everything that was releasing this year for Marvel movies, I kind of got shifted back from what I read. So
I just thought of something. There were already movies scheduled for back where all the Marvel movies were shifted. And so what's going to happen to those? They're going to have to be competing against Marvel movies now.
Oh, no, they got pushed back as well.
So all movies are pushed back.
Basically bump the line down.
Bump the line down?
Yeah, they just bumped the line down pretty much. But man, what really sucks is that, you know, movies like Ghostbusters and stuff like that, they actually got pushed back to next year as well.
Wow, when were they supposed to come out? That was supposed to be this summer, right?
Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, not until next year.
Not until next year.
Well, but the thing about the principal filming, if they can't be in large groups of people.
You can't showcase it, you know.
Yeah, it's one of the movies that was. I was going to say one of the movies that was unaffected so far is going to be a movie that was already coming out next year, James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Because that's
it's already wrapped filming and stuff like that. He's actually editing it at home. That's what he's been doing during quarantine, is editing the movie.
That's why I appreciate that guy. He can not only take characters that you wouldn't think you would love to see on a big screen and make you fall in love with them, but he takes his work home with him. He goes ahead and finishes up what he's done.
Well, he loves what he does.
Yep.
You know,
if I did that for a living, I'd love what I did too. I love being here with you guys. So, you know, of course, we're still doing this. Everything else I could stop doing.
I mean,
two other things too. Last of Us 2, that one, it's been put on an indefinite hold. It was supposed to come out later this year, and the same with Iron Man, the VR experience, which was supposed to come out next month. And Sony actually gave out refunds for anybody that pre-ordered them digitally.
So did they still get their pre-order plus the refund, or they just have to repurchase again?
They're going to have to repurchase it again later on.
But are we still looking at the normal release dates for all the other video games they had planned? I know Avengers is probably going through another.
Maybe we'll have to see, because like this again, it's affecting like everybody coming into offices and stuff like that. So all these developing houses and everything, like people are having to take their work home. It's like there's just not enough manpower to do all this, and not like all the
I think
they
that
don't have access to the technology and stuff that they need to get everything done.
I think maybe that they'll reorganize how they're doing things in general, because a lot of game development stuff can be done from home, collecting to like a cloud server to work. So there's no reason why
definitely.
game development should stop, except to rearrange how they actually work. The thing that I'm concerned with is movie theaters going forward, because like you're looking at like an 18-month cycling on and off of this kind of way of living, right? We'll have moments where we can return to semi-normalcy, but then we'll have to go back into kind of a lockdown for 2 weeks. And that'll cycle in and out for 18 months or so until we have a vaccine, which is like the timetable they're looking at. So like for theaters, like they can't survive like a year and a half without patrons. What are the theaters themselves going to do in order to make money besides donation? And then what's going to happen when we're ready for the theaters, but there aren't any left?
Well, now at that point, we'd be looking at them as, I would imagine that it would be considered like a small business, and the small business loans are going to be going out to keep.
Yeah, it'd have to be some sort of
normal way of
bailout.
life
Going.
Also, and that's a big portion of what the cabinet's been doing right now. Love them or hate them, they're focusing on trying to funnel a lot of the economy into the business, so that it is an economy. Otherwise, that affects not just our ability to go see these movies, but that affects the economy by large.
Yeah, and that's what the stimulus check is
system.
for too, is to jumpstart the economy. Like you're supposed to spend that in the economy, whether it's reinvest in stocks if you want, or to actually go out and have fun with that money. Like if you're losing, money due to not working, then there's a separate set of money set aside for that. So $600 a week plus your state unemployment benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But like the stimulus itself is designed to actually, jumpstart the economy when we go back to some seed of normalcy. Because it's not just going to start back up. Like, it needs that kind of kick of the pants, and that's what that is supposed to do.
But, I still like to. I'm still a salary paid employee, so I still have to do my work. I have to work from home, but I still like to spend the portions of my money, smaller portions, because we're looking at saving some back, but I don't want to go into a Great Depression type savings.
Oh yeah.
I'm not putting it in.
I would recommend people save their money but invest it.
I invest in Hasbro all the time. I like that it's an American-made company.
Invest in comic
they make
books
stuff out of America, but it's an American planted company up there. Up in Rhode Island. So, I like
this original art.
It's a stationary art platform. It's art, but that's what I like to spend my money on. I even told everybody in the family, once a paycheck, we're going to get one thing that makes us happy, one thing that we would normally get, and keep things going.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to think about it and to treat it.
It's also
I have a question for both of you guys.
Depression that you get from like being inside your house for a couple of weeks.
Definitely.
Cabin fever.
Some of us definitely fare better at that than others. I have a question for you guys, and it's kind of like coming from what I was talking about earlier with regards to theaters. Not only are they not going to be getting like business for the next month or so, and then maybe intermittent business for the next year, they also have new competition, as in like experimenting with digital releases, like coinciding with a theatrical release. What do you guys think of that? Like they did it with the new Disney movie, just did that.
Well, they're actually doing that where you can actually rent the movies on Amazon and stuff right now. It's called they call it Same as Cinema or something like that. I actually rented Trolls for Casey and I to watch. It was actually a fun movie.
I keep seeing ads for that. I'm not going to watch it. I'll watch what's that, Homeward Bound or what? No, that's not it.
Onward.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to that movie, actually. It makes my eyes water for some reason.
But that's one of those movies that was supposed to be a theatrical release, this past month or so. But of course, they can't release it theatrically. So what they do, and then what if this is very well received, and then there's a real deal competition to theaters? Where if given the option, if you want to stay home in the comfort of your own home, big screen TV, watch the new Star Wars, the new Marvel movie, would you prefer that over going out and sitting next to strangers and sticky popcorn floor?
I'm gonna have to jump in there because this is the thing. Okay, I mean, obviously, there are going to be people who naturally are introverted. They like to stay at home. They like to be a little bit of a recluse.
That's me.
If I don't have to go,
I don't want to.
I'm the same way. I'm a lonesome artist. Dan is the same way. We've grown up together. I think we're the only kind of public interchange we ever like to have. It's like, hey, Dan, how you doing? He's like, hey, Tony, how you doing? That was it. I mean, that was our good go out for the day extroverted nature. But even with a really nice 60 plus inch 4K HD whatever TV
HDR,
and inviting your friends over like you're going to watch the fights and get it on pay-per-view. Everybody sitting there watching, getting your own popcorn pops and everything. I might just not be down with the new age of how things are going to go. Kind of like reading digitally versus getting to smell the book and feel the book as you're reading it. Or I'm a very tactile person. So even though I don't like being around strangers, I don't like going out that much, the movie going process, that experience is still a big part of what I love about the lifestyle that I've gotten to grow up in, being in the time frame that I've grown up. Just the whole experience of it. You get to go in there, even if you're sitting next to somebody you don't really like, but then you'll laugh at the same scene in the movie, or everybody reacts the same way. You get to kind of have that experience of, I'm not the only person. It reminds me of Professor X in the X-Men movies when he gets into Cerebro and he sees how many mutants are actually out there, and he sees them lit up all around him.
Oh yeah. It
makes you know you're not the only one.
Well, what if you had a virtual experience, say with a VR headset, and then there are other people, strangers, other human beings that are enjoying the same thing you're enjoying. You could see them and interact with them. Maybe there's a lobby before you go in to see the movie.
I think there would still be a disconnect there.
Disconnect.
There's probably some science behind it. Maybe it's pheromones getting let off by people when they're enjoying something at the same time, or the crowd energy, whatever it is. Why do people go to church versus just have a VR digital church experience? Because you need the community, and a virtual.
There's a human interaction, on a physical level.
Exactly. It doesn't replace the chemical release that we have, and just the fine enjoyment of actually experiencing the world outside yourself. That's putting it all into only two senses that we have. So visual and audio. Do
you think that could somehow take away from the market share that theaters have been enjoying? I know you had this experience. Are you guessing that most people would prefer the theater experience over the convenience?
I think a lot might, but then I might be overshooting my opinion. Because, a lot of people do prefer this digital age. They have been Netflix and chilling for a while, all that sort of stuff. People have enjoyed that from the comfort of their own home kind of appeal.
I could even see them making a deal with the studios, the theater owners, kind of making a deal okay, you can release this, but we get a percentage.
Right. I mean, imagine there's an old movie that came out. It was in the 90s, but it was about an old movie theater getting shut down. and I can't remember the name of the movie right now, but the whole process was this one kid, and by kid I mean young adult, but he was pushing to save that movie theater, keep it open, to keep it what it was and thriving, because it's just like, at any point in time, people going out to the opera or people going to,
Yeah, it's a part of our culture too.
Part of the culture. It's a part of who we are as Americans. I know that they do it all around the world, but I mean, it is a part of who we are as our culture. And we have been leading the way a lot when it comes to cinema technology and just the whole experience. The United Kingdom too, but I just don't think we would be the same culture if we weren't unafraid to go out and experience life.
Yeah, okay. That sounds awesome. What do you think, Ronnie? Like if, say, the theaters were forced to raise their prices because they weren't getting as many patrons or weren't able to actually open half the year.
Man, I don't know how I'd feel about raised prices. They're already kind of expensive as it is right now. Like someone in my financial situation, no, I do enjoy going to the movie theater, especially during, the Tuesday $6 day and stuff like that at the Malco's. But I don't know, it was actually kind of nice to rent a movie that's supposed to be in the theater and watch it from the comfort of my home and not worry about like all the idiots out there talking throughout the movies, having their phones on, talking and all this other stuff. It's just, I
It's like
used to love going.
trade-offs, I guess. Like
Yeah,
there's good things and there's bad things, and you just find out
but
where you are in between those.
Pros and cons to everything.
yeah. But what Tony was saying though, it's like I do agree that it's the experience. It's like I don't know. It's like I still, to this day, one of my favorite moments in cinema ever was when Captain America got the shield and then the hammer and went after Thanos.
And the audience,
I mean, everybody
around you is like, yeah.
Everybody lost their minds, man. It's just like, oh, when he wielded Mjolnir, it was just like, it's time. Things are about to go down. The crowd went nuts.
There's like the adrenaline in the room. You can feel it, the energy around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
it's like, there's still
that's
stuff
why I like watching
about
stuff
that.
with people, instead of watching stuff by myself.
Yeah. I'll always enjoy watching.
They get excited. It's infectious, to pardon the phrase. But
no, it does. Yeah.
Same here, man. Same here.
Contagious. It's a contagious emotion. So the same way, like if somebody sneezes near you, somebody else might sneeze. If somebody's yawning,
or yawning,
we all kind of react to each other. We bounce off of each other. That we're a tribal race of people, species. I mean, so we're built to be in community. Some of us might be more of an omega type person that likes to sit on the outside of that community, but we need that community to exist so that we can do that. Even those type people, we start to suffer in the moments without seeing the community thriving. I don't necessarily want to be a part of the larger community all the time, but I want to know that it's there, and I want to know that it's working. And if I don't have that, then there's a little bit of unease. It's a little sick to my stomach, even when I go out just to try and shop for the family, and beyond just trying to clean your hands all the time and protect yourself. Obviously, you need to do whatever you need to do in these times and follow the rules and keep yourself safe. But you also need to eat, so you have to go out. You got to get your shopping done one person at a time. But even when I'm out there, I don't think the sick to my stomach feeling I get is from the concern so much as it is just seeing how different the atmosphere is. Who was it that said, I think it was Tommy Lee Jones in the movie Men in Black. A person can be smart, but people are stupid. Unbelievably stupid.
Yes.
And you can see where there's some idiocy going on. I wish I could tell everybody to stop putting plastic bags over their faces.
No, please
Tell them
continue.
if you're wearing a medical mask, but it's pulled down below your nose and up over your lips so that you can talk, that's not actually working.
Yeah, I saw a video of that. Someone like pulling the mask down, scratching his nose, putting it back up.
Yeah, no, I saw this live in person, so it just bothered me.
I'm sure it was informed by live.
Yeah,
but,
it was pretty bad. You know, and you know,
I mean,
I've
like
seen
our ways of like experiencing these things have changed throughout the ages, but one thing has been consistent, and that's the community. Like, you know, like I remember the first movie I noticed was not projected on film. Like there was no flicker, and it was kind of, it felt hollow to me to some extent, and but I got used to it, and now every movie is like that hollow movie that I saw in the theater like 15 years ago. They don't project movies with film anymore. It's all digital, and I just got used to it.
The cigarette burn. It's missing.
It's missing the flicker. Like there is a flicker when the shutter closes to move the frame, and then there's a je ne sais quoi I cannot put my finger on.
Something French too.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's what je ne sais quoi means. It's like something I can't quite define.
Yeah.
But
messing with your little.
But like, yeah, it definitely added to the experience in some undefinable way. And I was able to grow beyond it. It's like, well, no, the story and the visuals and the people. So I got those still. But then you take the people away. It's like, all right, now you're watching this big blockbuster movie by yourself, you know, in your little man cave. How do you feel? And you're like, hollow.
A little lackluster. It's a little lackluster.
Yeah.
I do enjoy. I mean, whenever we get the whole group together.
I mean, that's really
that organizes us, and we all get the Saturday night gaming crew to go out and see the movie. I enjoy that. I enjoy those types of things. I've been seeing movies with Dan almost 30 years now. We've been going to movies together, and I just enjoy it. I mean, like that old Mortal Kombat movie when it first came out, we had a blast going to see that movie. It was high energy. You go back and watch it. It's not that great. It's not that great, you know. But we
Power Rangers is right there with it, though, and that's the first one we ever got to see alone.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, even those TV actors put right up there on the big screen. Ivan Ooze, horrible stuff. I mean, loved it.
It is possible to enjoy a movie by yourself.
That's good stuff.
But like, you know, like if I could, like, I can't share a book with someone, you know, like in the same way I could share a movie. But if I could, I would, that type of thing. And so I don't want to lose that with movies. Even though, I can watch a movie and I can get something from it, I can internalize and then share with other people, like, as I talk about it. It's different if you experience something together, right?
Well, my biggest hope would be that we're not witnessing what would in the future be called the end of the Renaissance. You know, for an age where we had so much art, technology, music, entertainment going out, this could be compared to the Renaissance at its time. And I would just like to think that the next generation is going to enjoy a lot of the same things we do, at least for as long as I'm alive. You know, once I kick the bucket 60 years from now, then sure, go ahead and move.
Like 100 years from now.
No,
wait, was it? How long was I supposed to? Did I promise to live? I forgot.
I forget too, but I don't want to get to 135, man. That would be.
No, 135 is young. Like,
no, I'm okay with that. I mean, you can put me into an android body.
You don't want to die young, do you?
I'll put it this way: age isn't the factor; it's the mileage, and I've got a lot of mileage.
Oh no, you'll have like an adamantium android body. You'll be cool.
You know, since they put the metal in me, it actually hasn't been that enjoyable.
Well, this will be adamantium. This is different.
It's better. Storm systems come through. I can tell you they're coming better than the weatherman or the weather system.
You got a sixth sense. You got superpower.
Yeah, I get a crick in my neck. All the bolts freeze up. It's like it's gonna rain.
Well, I don't know if Flesh and Blood isn't all that cracked up either, because like if this is how I feel at like 42, I can't imagine how I'm gonna feel at 130.
You definitely won't be feeling as spry as those Galapagos turtles look. So thanks for talking with us, everybody, and we'll be right back after this great and rolling commercial break.
Hello, everybody. This is Dan once again coming back just to let you know a little bit about what we've been up to. We still have our Facebook page at facebook.com/turnthepageshow, or you can now find us on our website at SaturdayNightGaming LLC.com/turn-the-page. So you should go ahead and check that out over there. We have links to our most recent episode. We have links to the shop. We have links to what's going on with Saturday Night Gaming as a larger company. And you can check all of that out over there at SaturdayNightGamingLLC.com. And now we're back to the show. And
All
we're live.
right. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to go in for the second exciting installment of our special COVID quarantine episodes. We'll see how long this will continue to happen, but for the time being, we'll still try to bring you the same exciting entertainment we always have. So, guys, right off the top, I think one of the things that I want to approach is we were all planning on go. There was a MidSouth Town that was coming, and we were all planning to have a booth there. I had my business cards ready, and the whole fam was going to show, and I think my daughter was even planning on doing a little bit of the cosplaying for it. But that unfortunately got canceled. And again, diving into a little bit of what John tried to present to us before with this kind of social change. Do you think that will affect the future landscape of what we've gotten used to with these comic book and convention type gatherings?
Well, I'm hoping one thing changes: cleanliness.
Yeah, well,
hygiene.
I think that'll change. People more aware.
That'll more than likely be required to go to large gatherings and stuff like that, like of any sort. So I'm hoping that happens. But aside from that, I don't know. It really depends how long COVID-19 is going to last, like how long, like the social distancing and stuff. Now, do I think that conventions are completely done? I mean, some of the smaller conventions are not going to make it. I mean, the ones that had to cancel, like they're going under. Some of them are. It's like I mean, they just can't afford it. They didn't get their money back. They already paid for things.
Mm-hmm.
But now, as the bigger cons like Comic-Con and stuff like that, no, they're just delayed. They're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I think that once we get the vaccine and this is well past us, conventions will come back. Just as strong as ever.
Do y'all think though that because beyond the actual physical aspect, I mean, obviously right now it's a matter of if you're around someone who's sick, you can get sick, and then there's a lot of question to your life at that point. But beyond that, the psychological effect that this will have on the community as a whole.
Like people won't want to go.
Will they be more afraid that whether or not COVID-19 has a cure, well, what's the next big thing? It'd be like the people surviving the Black Plague for the third time back in the day. Did they distance each other for a lot longer past what they needed to because they were afraid of a resurgence?
I don't know, but I do think back to what you were saying before. Humans are they need that social interactivity and they crave it, and basically they're starved for it now. So I think if some sort of authority says, "Hey, it's okay to get together in large groups," people will be dying to do so.
At least a nationwide rave.
Yeah, at least enough of them to make that large group happen. There will be, of course, people who are, have PTSD and they're afraid of getting sick or spreading the next pandemic, as you said. But I don't think there'll be enough of them to actually impact the fans. So I think once like this is behind us, and I think that it'll resume just as strong as ever, if not more so. But like I can't say when it will be behind us. There won't be a vaccine for at least a year and a half, and that's like pretty generous projections. That's that 18-month timeline I gave you. Is the virus is not going to go away. It's going to come back when we get together again, and there's going to have to be a series of cycling of turning the dial down on society, and then turning it back up, then turn it down again until we can't stand it, and then turning it back up.
So basically, like climatization.
So like, say like at the end of June or something, or in June, they're like, all right, everything's fine. You can go out and hang out with grandma. At some point later in the year, they're going to say, okay, we're going to do a 2-week lockdown, right, to prevent like the mass spread. So we didn't do that early on when it first started hitting the United States. If we had, we wouldn't be in the situation we are now where it's months, right? It would have been like if we had just locked down a lot sooner, it would have cut off the legs of that spread. And so that's what we're going to try and do going into the flu season at the end of the year, as we're going to try and cut off COVID's legs by probably doing another lockdown style. That's my guess.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine that's a good guess at how things are going to go. I just, within my adult life, seeing the surge of the community that grew within cosplaying, comic books, cinema, video games, art. I mean, it really has just been a huge renaissance of that style of art and share that I would like to see continue. I mean, I'd like to go as an elderly Magneto cosplay when I'm 70 something and still get these things, in my memory bank before, the files start deleting themselves.
Well, you just upload those to your cloud self.
Right. Yeah. Like that Altered Carbon show where I can just download a new So
the cloud version of you will be like, I need a new flesh and blood body, so it orders one and then downloads itself into you. And there's some real interesting debates that you could have on, is that really you, or just like a copy of you? But then like, really, what are we? We're just memories. If we lose our memories, we don't think of ourselves as having lost a piece of ourselves, but we don't remember everything that's ever happened to us. Does that mean there's this huge chunk of who we are that's just gone?
Well, before we start reflecting on too hard, I'm going to leave that kind of subject of debate up for the greater minds. Not that this mind isn't as interested, but I have no answers there, just speculation. However,
I could have added to that.
I'll nod. Yeah, I agree with you, man. That's a good question. But as far as I think everybody's gone a little stir crazy. Everybody's got a little cabin fever. But there are ways, obviously, that a lot of us are trying to get by. Checking on your friends that have a little bit more of a depressed emotional status. This is the time to check in on them. This is to try and motivate each other through these things. But my personal interest in this question is, and we'll start with you, Ronnie. What have you done, especially during this period of quarantine, to kind of keep your mind entertained? What have you been focused on?
Well, I should be focused on writing and stuff like that, but
I take that to mean you have not been focused on writing.
No, I've been focused on Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing? I thought you got Final Fantasy VII, my friend.
And Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, Nintendo's killing it right now. I see Animal Crossing memes everywhere.
Well, it's like this Tiger King fella. Who is that? how did this guy become so famous after his death during a quarantine situation?
Yeah,
I mean, it's,
Casey
yeah.
really wants to watch Tiger King now. So I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Glad I have my Switch.
Oh goodness.
Yeah,
Well,
I probably
John,
should have
what
been.
have you done that's kept you?
Well, there's been some creative projects I've kind of worked on a little bit. Not too much, not too much. Just kind of like on whims, like let me slap some stuff together, work on some old stuff a little bit. Nothing too substantial. I did work on some bonsai trees I've been meaning to work on for quite some time. And that was on a whim too, but like I actually got some real work done. Mostly what's been keeping me sane, and this is a little weird, I have been binge watching Bob's Burgers. Uh, like, I got about 4 seasons I haven't seen. There's about 10 seasons total, which I didn't even know there was that many. It's been on that long. But
That
I know
reminds
that
me,
either, man.
Casey.
Is it that good?
I love it. It's
Oh,
just,
it is.
it's good, wholesome fun. There's something about it that draws me to it and makes me feel comfortable and, better. I don't know. I've been like watching two or three episodes like a day.
I can understand you on that. Myself, I've been so we all know I like to read as far as the comic books are concerned. And basically, what I did was I went back into my digital collection and
Open the vault.
I re-downloaded all of my Uncanny X-Men collection. So starting from the initial introduction all the way up to, I have just now, over the past 3 weeks, I've gotten to the 90s. I've just broke into the 90s.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I just got past Extinction Agenda and getting through the Muir Island incident with the Shadow King. And we're about to break into issue number 1 of the X-Men with Jim Lee and Chris Claremont.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to tell you, it's beyond the fact that it's just given me something to focus my mind on. I've really thoroughly enjoyed reading it in a continuum, just straightforward like that, instead of going and picking
Waiting a month.
certain,
Yeah.
certain storylines or skipping some stuff.
I read
Because
like a
it
year
really
of
showed
Batman
me
like that.
how much Chris Claremont was just one of the most talented authors of our time. And I say that in my mind, I say that outside of just the format that he was in of comic books, this man could keep story arcs going for 5 years seamlessly. You didn't know you were being baited and switched the whole time. You knew that he was just really well done. And as being one of the only authors that I have spent this much time reading, and I live with an English professor, she gave me a quiz the other day on how well I am with grammar. And I got 25 out of 25, gentlemen. So I know my grammar, and I can only say thank you to Chris Claremont.
Chris
for that.
Yeah.
He was a great author. And it's really filled a hole for me for the time being, and especially with the mentality of those stories where people are afraid of a small group of people because they're different or they feel like they may get them sick. Right now, when you're in a quarantine because of an epidemic, it kind of hits your head a little bit differently because it's like, oh yeah, if I saw somebody talking, I would freak out. So if you saw somebody walking around with glowing red eyes and be like, oh no, it's a mutant, it's going to get me sick.
Yeah. I can relate to that.
Yeah, Casey can relate to that too. We were
working at Kroger.
Yeah, she works at Kroger, and when because she has allergies, so like anytime like she sneezes or coughs, like people freak out.
Oh yeah.
And she's just like, I'm fine. She wears a mask, by the way, just in case, just for
guys,
safety precautions and everything.
I'm leaving.
Oh, all right.
Man.
Well, I think we're losing old John McClay there for a minute, having a little bit of technical difficulties. But I want to go ahead and say thank you to all of our fans and listeners especially those of you out there who decided to take your time to download the Turn the Page D&D dice game. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for having us be a part of your sanity during this quarantine period. Also, I was going to give a real quick synopsis overview. The Peanut Gallery, Chuck, couldn't be with us this week, but he had posed a request to me to read and review a collection of books called The Savage Avengers, published by Marvel Comics. I think you've heard of that too, haven't you, Ronnie?
I've heard of it. I just haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well,
I haven't read it yet. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's definitely something. Right off the top, it's a concept that I don't think anybody's too confused by. Let's get some of the most grisly anti-hero characters that we have out there in Marvel Comics today. Let's put them all in one title, and let's try to make it make some sort of coherent sense. Now, the story was done by Jerry Dugan, and I have to say that some of it was really well done. Some of it's just lacking. It's lacking a narrative form in some parts. In some parts, it's really well done. So Conan the Cimmerian is in this. And I'm not going to give away any kind of spoiler. Conan the Barbarian is in this. And it seems to me like what he did with the narrative here was a lot like reading a Conan book at certain points. So the old little novella books that Conan used to have back in the day, it kind of had that flow to it as far as the authorship, penmanship. The art itself, with Mike Deodato Jr. doing the artwork, it's good. It's good. It's got like a crazy Frank Miller feel to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's real color, like large range color differences. So like a red and a black splash, or so a lot of range to it, but selective.
Okay.
Colors. So it's got kind of, to me, it's got kind of like the Frank Miller Daredevil book feel to it. The overall story, pulling in a lot of the bad guys that could even make sense of why these characters are all there together. Venom, Wolverine, Punisher, it's got Elektra, and of course, like I said, Conan the Barbarian, and Dr. Voodoo, real off-the-wall choice, in my opinion. But it pulls all those characters in very well for what the story is. If you're going out trying to find something that's going to make your brain tick, this isn't it. But if you're going that satiates your fanboy urges, you've got it here. I mean, it's just, there's big monsters. There's lots of grisly anti-heroes. There's the Punisher doing his full kick. I think at one point it really got me. He was attacked by the bad guy mentally, and he was kind of down for a second, and Elektra took that time to say, one of the other characters said, well, he's down and out. He's out for the count, and basically Elektra said, on your feet, soldier, you don't have time to think about this. Let's go shoot some people. And he just pops right back up, and he's back in action. So, I mean, it's
oh, man.
But overall, I think that if you're out there looking for something that's almost like reading the comic book version of a 1980s death metal band, this is it. This is your ticket. It's a lot of fun. If you're going digitally, I think you can find it for about $7 for the first 5 issues. It's worth it. The art's good. The narrative's pretty good. And just the overall appeal of having some blood and gore and some rageistic fun, it's there. So go ahead and drop that dime on it if you've got the time.
Did you get a trade or did you get it digitally?
Oh, I got it digitally, yeah. I don't think this is something that I would probably have weighing down my collection. the artwork isn't. I mean, it's great. So I would not mind seeing something on my wall, just for the artwork's purpose, or having it as a backdrop on my computer. But it's not something that I would spend a whole lot of money on, or count on it being a turnaround sell if you're a collector for the purpose of buying and selling as if it was a stock. It's not going to increase in value, in my opinion. But it is worth a little read through if you like some good old fashioned heavy metal action.
Well, I'm definitely going to have
the live studio audience is kind of jeering me right now.
Yeah.
We are broadcasting to you with a full family setting here, so the 1.5-year-old is saying, "Move on, man. Talk about something else."
Yeah, no, I definitely plan on getting that book when I get the chance.
But yeah, other than that, again, like we said, if you're looking for something to fill your time with, we have the Saturday Night Gaming Podcast still going out. You can check us out on Facebook, and you can check us out on any of your local mediums, from Podbean to iTunes to Google Play. There are several mediums of which you can download us for our normal released episodes of Saturday Night Gaming. Lots of D&D role-playing fun. We are trying out several new systems at a time, bringing original storylines to people that they wouldn't have heard before.
We are.
Created content. Turn the Page will continue to bring you as much content as we can during this time. And again, you can find us on Facebook and our websites. Just go ahead and hit those up, and that will directly connect you to our storefronts and any of our purchasable materials. So go ahead and continue to like and subscribe. To all of our listeners who are out there in the ether, the overseas listeners, thank you. Big shout out to you. We love you. We love the fact that you're tuning in for us and giving us a chance to entertain you and bring some sort of happiness and brightness into your day. And until next time, this is Tony Stevens and the adorable sidekick, and for John McClay, we will go ahead and say, signing off.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the heck out of you, and all you do. Thanks for listening. And technical support too.